Hi everyone, this is 12 News meteorologist Stephen Matrigrano here. We have an update from the National Hurricane Center as of earlier this morning. You can see the latest numbers on Lee. Still a Category 3 storm with winds of 115 miles per hour, pressure down to 951 millibars, and it's moving northwest at 6 miles per hour, which is actually a little bit slower than the last update from earlier this morning. This update was as of 11 a.m. Here's a wide view of the satellite. You can see how far Lee is. It's still basically due south of Bermuda and north and east of the Bahamas and the Caribbean. So we're watching this system closely as it approaches eventually the east coast and looks to stay, as of right now, offshore. Here's the official National Hurricane Center track. You can see that taking it up the coastline as a Category 1 storm off the coast of Cape Cod and Nantucket, and looks like it would have a landfall in Nova Scotia at this time. But of course, notice that cone of uncertainty does not include much of our area, but it does include parts of the Cape and Nantucket. So if this storm were to track on that western side of the cone, we'd of course see more impact. So here's a close-up view of that. You can see what I mean. Looking at this on that western side of the track, we'd feel more impacts. The center of the track, we'd see some impacts, and the eastern side, we would see less impacts. So let's actually take a look at that a little bit further. You can see here we have the center track, which is the National Hurricane Center. Some rain, some wind with this one, and you can see the green and the yellows covering southeastern New England, of course, with some rainfall as well. That's one scenario, and that's the one that looks most likely right now. If this storm were to track further east, of course, that would bring the rain and the wind offshore more, so we'd see much better conditions in terms of sky cover, but we'd still see some breezy conditions and, of course, the rough surf and high rip current risk as well. If this were to go to the western side of that cone, the uncertainty cone, you would see that we'd have a lot more in the way of rain and wind across much of New England, especially across coastal areas as well, with more of the storm surge and the beach erosion and the high surf as well. So those are the three scenarios that we're looking at, and we're looking to fine-tune that forecast, of course, as we go forward in time. What we do know in terms of the ocean impacts, large ocean waves from Hurricane Lee, these will be building actually as we head into, starting on Wednesday, but especially for Thursday, Friday, and of course on Saturday, dangerous rip currents, beach erosion, and of course our advice is always to stay off the rocks and the jetties with these waves crashing on shore. So that's your latest hurricane update on Lee. We'll have more updates to come as we go through the next couple of days. Take care.